Lie flat. Let it rot. You might have heard these catchphrases from China, but these catchphrases showed us that the Chinese public simply wants to give up on life and just not bother working for the collective future. Just lie down. It's gotten so bad that these phrases, where people were just expressing their displeasure for life in general in China, these phrases were erased and banned. Well, it's actually gone even further now. Nursing homes, not for the elderly, not for old people, but for young people. I'm not joking, 20-somethings, simply tired of it all, giving up, checking out, and then checking into a hospital/nursing home to leave it all behind. This is a phenomenon spreading around China. China has fallen so far into youth unemployment that it's even stopped reporting on it. And now we see a society doing things that we've never seen any society do before. But first, a word from the best VPN in the world. Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN. Now, what's a VPN? Well, it's a secure tunnel that protects your internet connection so that no one can see your information. It protects your data, like your credit card information, and it keeps you safe online. You should probably get one. But what can I tell you about Surfshark? Well, it's fast and easy to use as you connect to the server that offers the best speed by default. It's easy to install, and you can run it on unlimited devices on a single subscription. With Surfshark, you'll be chillin' in style as you unlock 15 largest Netflix country libraries, including the US and Japan, by merely connecting to the server in the right country. People at Surfshark care about security so much that they created a VPN app that secures your data with industry-leading measures by using uncrackable encryption and the most secure VPN protocols. Surfshark has reached the coverage of 100 countries, and they're the only VPN to do so. Go to surfshark.com/Lawai86 and get 4 extra months. That's surfshark.com/Lawai86 and use the code Lawai86 to protect your online privacy today. This nursing home that I'll be talking about today in particular doesn't accept people who are over 45 years old. So a old folks home for not old folks, people under 45. And it also doesn't allow people who have never worked before. This is for tired young people that just want to give up. Here, no one demands your daily routine. There is no workplace anxiety, no family conflicts. You can do whatever you want, said the owner. He turned a ramshackle old dwelling into a beautiful hospital for the tired youth to get away from the sheer chaos, dysfunction, and inhumane standards of living that people in China must endure. It was formerly a rundown school dorm, but he spent tens of thousands of dollars turning it around. People usually shop and cook in groups, but some people choose to live there alone. Many people just come for a stint, but there are now permanent residents in these nursing homes. I'm not joking. Some people born in the 80s, some in the 90s, some even in the 2000s. Some of them are permanent residents in a nursing home. Not helpers, not helping old people. Remember, these are the patients. And most seem to be office workers. Some people will come to have a rest and then they realize that they have to return to their families. But the owner says that actually defeats the purpose of the nursing home. It's about 1,500 RMB per month, but you can also just volunteer and do tasks around the nursing home in exchange for the fees to be waived, effectively being completely free. Most people turn off their phones and refrain from using any sort of computer or device. They don't want to work. They don't want to do anything related to being connected to the outside world while they're in the nursing home. Most people get up around 7 o'clock and they go for a run. And then some people choose to sleep until noon. It really depends on the person, why they're there. Some people choose to plant crops or hike or study martial arts, and some people meditate. Really, it's the complete opposite of normal life in China. The chaos, the discombobulation, the stress, the 9 to 5, the 9 to 6, the 996, the grind. It is the natural antidote to what people have to endure in China on a daily basis. Some city dwellers were reluctant to become farmers in the nursing home because you kind of have to be one in order to sustain this thing. But once they were able to grow and harvest their own crops and their own fruits, they embraced it. Quote, "When we return to the environment, we can get more happiness." And let me tell you, as someone that spent 10 years in China, returning to environment, or returning to nature is not something that people do in China. It's gotta be incredibly therapeutic to actually get a piece of nature in a country that looks like a massive dystopian factory. The owner of this particular nursing home started this youth nursing home because he found that young people had actually started to check themselves into elderly nursing homes because they were so stressed out and wanted to run away from life. The pressure of Chinese society is just too much. They felt hopeless, lonely. In this completely connected world, they are somehow cut off and feel like they have no opportunity for future success or future relationships. For example, Chiu, she was born in the 90s. She is a social media manager from Sichuan, and she's now a resident of the nursing home. She said, "At first, my family members didn't understand when they found out I was living in a youth nursing home. My mother would say that she didn't even want to go to a nursing home. At my age, I should be struggling, so why would I go to a nursing home? I haven't turned on my computer for a long time, and I occasionally use my phone to contact my family and friends, but I think I'm healthier now. I used to eat takeout, but now I cook for myself. I used to get up early for work with the pressure of listening to the alarm clock, but now I wake up to the sound of birds and I feel much more refreshed." Here's the deal. In China, people were promised a deal with the devil. And to many, it seemed fine. Not that they had a choice, but the deal was this. We, the dictatorship of China, the Chinese government, offer you the opportunity to earn money and have a job. But in return, you give up your rights, your freedom of speech, your ability to own land or property, and this concept of freedom or democracy. You give those things up. That deal was honored for a time amongst the middle to upper classes in China. The poor were always stiffed. Anyway, it was honored until it wasn't. People now live in a phone-addicted hellscape of half automation and half government tyranny, but with no promise of money, property, or jobs anymore. The economy is tanking. I'm not kidding. China is very much becoming like Ready Player One, where people live in metal shacks stacked on top of each other inside of a virtual world. Except in China, the games suck and you still have to find a way to pay the bills. Remember, the government has no social programs in China. No wonder these tired people want somewhere to retreat. Now, before you think this is some progressive solution, and we should all congratulate the Chinese government for these youth nursing homes, this isn't paid for by the state. China has almost no social programs, and the lack of societal safety nets means that it's a cutthroat combo of capitalism and authoritarian dictatorship, and that's the reason that these people are actually going to these nursing homes. Life in China is brutal. Xiao Wu was born in the 90s, and he is a former state-owned enterprise employee from Beijing. This is not only a nursing home, I think it's more of a hospital. I am now a permanent resident here. This place allows you to unleash your true nature, and there's endless fun. When he first came, he said, "Everyone is singing around the bonfire. At first, I was very reserved, and I started to sit there in a panic. But they didn't mind that I was just a stranger. They even clinked glasses with me and held my hand. Suddenly, I felt my heart opened up and I didn't want to leave. I rented a small house in the nearby village, and I waited for this youth nursing home to be completed. During the process, I also helped to choose the doors, the windows, the bamboo curtains, etc. Watching it improve little by little, I felt a sense of accomplishment." It's not just these nursing homes, by the way. It's young people running away from the cities in China back into the countryside. That's the exact opposite of what I saw in China. Everyone was trying to leave the countryside and go into the cities. But the youth in China are so tired of the current economic downturn that they're just, tired. By the way, you might be curious as to what the government thinks about these youth nursing homes and these people leaving the city economy to go back to the countryside. And I'll tell you what, they're incredibly displeased with this because their workforce is just leaving it all behind. They're not really participating in the economy in any meaningful way and giving up on what was supposed to drive China to be the dominant power in the world. You can't be number one when your people feel like number 69. I was having a conversation with someone involved in the study of technology's effect on humankind. And he had a very interesting prediction that I think links perfectly to this. Rather than this popular idea that everyone has about people embracing AI's involvement in our lives and letting tech control society, he predicted that in 5 or 10 years, a large group of people, at least in the Western world, may start rejecting technology. When we started to see this boom of social media, people started to get main character syndrome. Everyone wanted to share their life and put themselves out there. Everyone started comparing themselves to other people, living off this false energy of likes or shares or comments. This delusional world of interconnectedness and the constant entertainment through short-form media like TikTok, and always needing to put yourself and your opinion out into the world will probably come to a boiling point. I've actually said this before, but China is insanely behind the West in terms of political structure or innovation or wealth or societal development. But one thing that China's always been ahead of the West on is reliance on technology. China has been phone addicted about 5 years longer than the USA. And this youth nursing home thing is a glimpse into our future as well, maybe 5 years down the line. I think people are getting fed up. It's tiring. This reliance on social media and the need to be constantly connected and entertained, all while lessening our real interactions with real people in real life, it's tiring. It's hollow. This nursing home thing, I get it. Before we all start going nuts, get out there, go outside, and at least try saying hi to someone in real life. It might make their day, and it might make yours too. If you enjoyed this video, you're gonna wanna stay up to date on everything that's happening in China, and you can go do that on The China Show. The China Show is me and my friend Winston. We talk about every single current event that's happening in China for that week and larger things at play too. Everything from the funny to the crazy to the bad to the good, everything in between is the only place you need to be for your information on China. Make sure you're subscribed there, but also don't forget there's an audio version too. So if you're a kind of person that likes to listen to podcasts, please go over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, look up The China Show, give us a rating, give us a follow. We'd really, really appreciate that. And I'll catch you on the next one.